I am Noriko Ballful, and this is Uncut News. We start tonight with tragic news, which has left my heart heavy with grief. Last evening, the nation was rocked by news of the gruesome discovery of the bodies of two murdered teens in Cottontree, Berbice. 16-year-old Isaiah Henry and 19-year-old Joel Henry were last seen alive on Saturday when the two cousins left their home in No. 3 Village, West Coast Berbice, to pick coconuts in the Cottontree Buck Dam. According to reports, the family did possess land in the Buck Dam, and the boys regularly went into it to retrieve coconuts. After the boys did not return that night, residents contacted police and performed an extensive search of the area, which ended with the group finding the mutilated bodies of the boys a short distance away from a coconut estate the following day. Videos from the scene show that their throats were slit and their heads were literally chopped open, while their bodies also bore bruises and deep chop marks. They were literally butchered like cattle. According to police, the owner of the coconut estate is a 56-year-old farmer whose name has not been released to the public. The man's son and a handyman were also taken into custody after bloodstains were found at the farm in question. The police claim to have opened an intense investigation to bring the perpetrators to justice. Nevertheless, aggrieved members of the boys' village have taken to the streets since last night in protest of the killing. Much of their anger revolves around the belief that the murders were racially motivated, as it is alleged that the estate owner is of East Indian descent. The president and opposition have since spoken out against the killings and have called for calm from the nation. Harmon and Granger met with the family of the boys this morning. They too called for the public to remain calm while the murders are under investigation by the police. Nevertheless, many average Guyanese took to social media to display their hatred under the guise of supporting law and order. Because if you can ask if there is an appropriate situation in which it is okay to butcher two boys, then your heart is just as evil as the persons who did this act and just as racist. ExxonMobil has claimed that it can take its investments elsewhere if it does not get its way with Guyana on the Payara field development plan. But Guyana News says that one oil expert is not convinced. According to the president of the Center for International Environmental Law, Mr. Carol Muffett, ExxonMobil's comment indicates just how scared it actually is. During his second appearance on Kaicha Radio's Guyana's Oil and You, Muffett said Guyanese should pay attention to the financial health of Exxon before it was hit by the pandemic. The company had lost more than 50% of its share value in the last decade, while adding that it is losing money in parts of its portfolio that it had long-term growth opportunities and projections. The subsequent lockdowns worldwide since the pandemic started has all but decimated the growth in demand that was expected for this year. So, basically, Moffat feels that Exxon is bluffing and requires an unfair deal from this nation because it is the only real attractive growth prospect for them at the moment. You there, mobile gamer, your phone is getting hot, isn't it? Well, I've got what you need right here. And no, it's not these nuts, haha! It's a cooling fan designed to keep you gaming all night long. Get it at Triple B's. Call them now on telephone number 682-8326 or visit them on Facebook. Triple B's Enterprise. Remember the name. On Monday, President Irjag Fandio announced several tax measures ahead of the budget presentation on Wednesday. He said that government would be reversing VAT on basically almost everything the coalition government applied it to. Electricity, water, medicines, private education, private healthcare, cell phone use, all of the like, gone. And they are following that up by increasing old age pension to $25,000 a month and reinstitution of cash grants for school children. VAT would be removed on agriculture, mining, and forestry machinery and equipment, among other measures. Jagdeo said the total relief to people and businesses would be in excess of 40 billion Guyana dollars annually. On Monday, a vagrant was remanded to prison for the murder of Overchester called Brookie, who was stabbed to death at Border Market on September 2nd, 2020. 52-year-old Richard Martin was not required to plead to the indictable offence, which alleged that on September 2nd at Border Market, he murdered Chester, a 51-year-old farmer of Block 22, Wismar Linden. Martin was remanded to prison until his next court date on September 21st. Health Minister Dr. Frank Anthony announced that efforts are underway to establish COVID intensive care units at regional health facilities across the country. During a recent engagement with the press, Dr. Anthony disclosed that regional hospitals have already been assessed to be retrofitted with ICUs that will have the capacity to administer care to patients who developed severe forms of the virus. You've always dreamed of owning your own car, but it seems like your foot is destined to be on the tar. Change your destiny. Bring your $800,000 savings down to BM Soto Auto Sales at Lot 9 Crowell Street, Georgetown. Tell them Noriko sent you to find out about their loan option, or call them on telephone number 231-8451. BM Soto Auto Sales. It's your turn to drive. Now, let's take a look at news in the region. The Trinidadian government has removed all taxes on laptops, computers, notebook computers, and tablet computers with immediate effect. Minister of Finance Colm Imbert made the announcement in a tweet on Friday night. Imbert said the move came after a submission from the Ministry of Finance in keeping with a commitment made in the People's National Movement's 2020 general election manifesto. Before this decision, laptops and computers were subject to value-added tax and online purchase tax. On Monday, China's Foreign Affairs Ministry spokesman Zhao Linjian accused the United States of persecuting his country's companies after the Department of Defense threatened Beijing's largest computer chip manufacturer with cutting off their goods and services supplies. On Saturday, the Department of Defense said that it would add Semiconductor Manufacturing International Corporation, or SMIC, to its entity list. This means that SMIC would be unable to obtain US-made parts, given that Washington might block national tech firms for providing its supplies. There is a legit way you could earn some extra cash to supplement your existing hustle that does not involve 2 people or $21,500. Sell Top-Up. You could become a top-up vendor quick and easy by linking Cellular Plus. Call them on telephone number 685-3109 for more info. And now for our weird news story of the day. A man in France was injured Friday after he blew up parts of his home while trying to kill a fly with an electric swatter, according to local news reports. The man, who is in his 80s, was about to eat dinner when he spotted the insect. He picked up the bug-killing racket and started swatting at it, unaware that a gas canister was leaking from the home located in a village in southwestern France, according to the BBC. A reaction from the electric swatter and the flammable gas caused an explosion that destroyed his kitchen and partly damaged the roof. He managed to escape the blast with only light burns to his hands and was transported to a local area hospital, although it is not clear what happened to the fly. Moving on to our Uncut News viewers poll question of the day. Every day we pose a question about current events in Guyana, the region, the diaspora, and how you feel it relates to us. So, you give your responses in the comments, and we'll read the best ones in the following episode. Friday's question was about bringing back the sugar industry. Is it a good idea? Garvin Blackman said, sugar is no longer a viable industry since there are so many substitutes for sugar on the world market, and compounding the problem further is that the cost to produce each unit of sugar in Guyana is more than the per cost unit it's selling for on the foreign market. Nicholas Basdio said, I think that they should let the private sector have shares in Gaisuco. Reason being is that the private sector will have capital to invest in the company, and if things aren't going as smooth as they planned, they can sell the shares to other private companies who will find a way to either diversify Gaisuco or find a method to increase the sugar output with less input. And finally, Philip Alsop said the PPP will do their best to fulfill their election promises. The majority of the workers that lost their jobs are Indo-Guyanese and supporters of this PPP ruling party. The reopening of these sugar factories is a more social venture to ease the hardships than an economical endeavor. The auction will present a beautiful picture of the PPP in the eyes of their followers. For it to be profitable, a change will have to be made and the industry brought up to par with modern technologies. Good answers, people. So tonight I leave you with this question. Over the past several months, we have seen countless incidents of racism in society, but the ERC has done little to help with this situation. Let's be real, that pathetic apology they make you do if you say something racist has had little to no effect on people. Look at the critic and what offensive bile he continues to spew. Anyway, with all that being said, what should the ERC do to truly address racism? Should they still be here, or should we just get rid of them and start from scratch? Think about that question and let us know in the comments below. If your response is good, we just might feature it in Tuesday's episode. Anyway, that's all the time we have for tonight. Check us out tomorrow for another episode. Hey Uncut News viewers, thanks for watching. You can subscribe by clicking on this button over here, or click over there for more news. You can also drop a comment to let me know if you've made it to the end of the video. Goodbye for now.